Hi everyone, and welcome to our first South Mountain Homestead tour. We're going to do these tours once a month to show you what we have going on around the property, and you're going to see the good, bad, and the ugly of our projects. I was talking to Starson last night, asking him if he would mind filming, so he's behind the camera, and a tour of our place, and he was like, we can't do a tour, our place is a mess. But you know what, we're okay with that, because that's how we show you guys how progress is made, and to not be intimidated by the size of a project or being in the middle of a couple of them, to keep going on your journey to become more self-sufficient. So take a look as we show you around. I didn't move too far to show you what we have going on, and I had that in the background on purpose, all these seedlings, because a lot of these are going to be going into the ground on the homestead, and a few of them are for sale. We had planned on doing a really large plant sale and homestead festival over Mother's Day, but of course, because of how things are going around the country right now, we had to adjust our plans. So we're going to be doing a virtual plant sale, so if any of you are interested, definitely send me a message. You can find our email at the bottom of every page on our website. Most of these, actually every single seedling right here was started by my mom, and she brought these up from southern New Mexico, which has a lot different growing zone. They're in zone 8, and we are 6B or 7A here. So our plants are not nearly this big, and I'll show you what they're doing. But I am able to sell a lot of these seedlings to the people in town that are only 30 minutes away, because there's a 10-degree temperature difference in those. We are standing in front of South Mountain, which is what our homestead was named after, and I'm so excited to tell you about the next part of what we're working on the homestead. For the first time, we put cover crop down, and it is coming up so nicely, and I was afraid of how this was going to turn out because we had a lot of bare earth, and we live at a high elevation in the arid mountain desert, and if there's not something covering the soil, it just dries up really quickly. So we laid down straw, and we've been watering whenever the weather is cool, and this will be the only time that we irrigate, because we want to protect the precious resource of water that we have. And as soon as we get the ground covered, it'll start developing a sponge with that soil and the aeration and the roots going through it that will hold water. So hopefully this is the only time that we have to irrigate our land. Over to my right here, the boys have helped dig out a brand new garden bed that goes around the spare room and connects back behind the garage. We're putting up trellis and shutters on the window. We'll be framing it out, and then I have a David Austin Bathsheba climbing rose that goes right up the side here and one on the other side. And then we're going to be doing cottage style gardening this year. You guys, I have the best husband on earth. I have hinted a little bit about what's behind me if you've been watching my Instagram stories, but we want to do a reveal. It's not totally done, but like I talked about from the beginning, we're about showing you the process of our projects as well. So follow us in as we take a look at my new greenhouse. Yay! The greenhouse has a latch, and it's super tight fitting. You'll also notice that I have ventilation ducts on the bottom that I can open and shut. And as you come in, you can see that even though he's not done, the ladder's back there, the roof isn't finished. I've already moved some seedlings in here. So these are the seedlings that I started from seed. They are so much smaller than the seedlings you saw in the beginning that my mom has grown. I just potted these up last weekend, so I buried them all. They were all like this, and I pushed them all the way into the soil. I have another video about that if you'd like to check it out. But already, my tomatoes and my peppers have all gained more than 1 inch of growth being out here, and they've only been out here for 2.5 days. My husband put in a thermometer here, and there's a receiver so that we can check the temperature. Even without it being closed, it's staying above 50 degrees in here at night, even though on the outside it's about 40 degrees. So we're loving that we're able to monitor that and just have stuff outside, because if you guys have seen our inside, we have 2,000 seedlings inside right now under lights in the middle of our living room. My husband's having to work and do videos with seedlings and lights as his background. And he's in the food industry, so I guess it's okay to have vegetables growing behind you, but we would love to free up that space. And this is definitely going to help. We're going to have shelves in here. We're going to put rock on the bottom so that it's not muddy as we're walking through. And you can hear the peacocks in the background. Let's kind of peek over at them. It's about bedtime for everybody on the homestead. So we will be showing you guys a tour of our animals as well, but we figured that we'd probably keep them separate as you toured around the property to keep the video from being so long. So you will be seeing at least 2 tours from us a month. One of them will be our landscape and what's going on with all the plants, and then we'll do another one that will include all the animals, because we do have baby bunnies and chicks and turkeys. I'm sure you can hear them all in the background, and we're excited to show you those too. As you can tell, there's a lot of dirt behind me. And the reason is we are trying to create a better pathway for water to travel off of our property. And we're going to be doing a lot of mulching here, so we don't want the water to run off the mulch onto the driveway. So we had a friend here that was using his bobcat to help move some dirt, and then we'll help finish up the rest of it. But it's definitely a labor of love that will help us for years to come. We put a whole bunch of dirt around the edges because the foundation on that shed was showing right there. And then you can see our beds in front of the peacock pen on either side have been mulched with rabbit manure and straw. And we'll be planting in those probably towards the middle of May, because we still get frost here until June. Another great project we're doing on the homestead is adding flagstone. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for $250, and this is about $700 worth of flagstone. Flagstone usually comes on a pallet 3x3 and is $450, but because we have awesome big teenagers helping us do the labor, we were able to pick it up from a gal who had taken off flagstone from her porch, and the concrete just came right off of it. Most of the work was already done for us. Loaded it onto the trailer and brought it home. It's sitting up here flat because my smart husband knows that I like to look at each piece before laying it. So it's laid out here, but it's actually going to go in a pathway right here, which is where the bobcat was doing some more work. It's laid out flat. We'll be able to level it out by hand, add some sand, and then start laying the flagstone. The last landscaping project that we're doing on South Mountain Homestead involves this area behind me. If you all followed me last year, you know that the garden ended right about here. Well, we've taken it out about another 25 feet, and we're gonna add rows. This will be the first time that I will be planting in the ground instead of raised beds, and I'm pretty excited. But I also want to show you that we're going to be planting over our septic area, which you have to be super careful, but I really want to show that you have opportunities. People that are limited on space or maybe don't like the way their septic looks, we're going to try to do some different things to see how it works out. But I'm planning on putting one more bed right here, a sitting area, which is going to be kind of close to those septic check areas, and then we're planning on doing rows that come out that look like a sun, and they'll be centered around the seating area here. Each row will go out. And I planted a ton of flowers this year. We're working on doing cut flowers to take to a market in town and also an event planner. So we're super excited to see how the plants and flowers adapt up here in the arid desert. I'm used to growing vegetables, so this will be a brand new experience for me. I would love to see your comments on what we're doing. If you have any ideas or thoughts, we appreciate all of them, so put them down below.